Just time now at 7:15 to have a look at a couple of front pages, and they both feature the same story. The front page of The Sun has its punning headline, "Dial-Light Robbery," and it refers to how the government is charging for services, phone lines, meant to help people like victims of crime and the like. The same story on the front page of the Daily Mail there, how the state makes a killing out of premium phone lines. We can take a closer look at that story now. The Public Accounts Committee says that 208 million calls were made last year to government departments. 63% of them were to the higher rate numbers, and that cost the callers an estimated £56 million. Joining us now is David Hickson, Fair Telecom's campaign. David, let's look at it from the other point of view. Why is it wrong to charge?
When we pay for a service through our taxes, we expect that service to be fully paid for. We don't expect to have to pay a fee then as we access it. When you have your pension, you expect to get that pension. If they then say you've got to pay some of it back if you want to inquire about it, that is clearly wrong.
Is it the case that they're not being clear about charging for these phone lines when people make a call?
No, it all goes back to a very long time ago when the situation was very different with these numbers. But in the world we're in today, we have to understand when you call any telephone number beginning 084, 087, part of what you pay is being passed on to the person you're calling. It might be a small amount, but that happens whenever the number begins 084, 087. What
kind of reaction do you then expect now from the government over this?
They, I think, have learned that this has got to come to an end. We've been campaigning on this for many years now, trying to get the point across. We won the battle with the Ministry of Revenue and Customs this year. They have now changed over to the 03 numbers, which are perfectly acceptable. They're charged just like a call to an ordinary number. And we now expect Department for Work and Pensions and all the other departments who are still using these numbers to follow.
And it'd be different, I suppose, well, would it, if the profits from these premium lines were going back into the coffers and being used to improve the service, but in fact it all goes to a private company.
It's not quite like that.
Is it not?
The additional charge, the service charge element, does go back to the person you're calling. So you are, in effect, paying the government to make an inquiry, but the telephone companies are also taking a very big slice as well.
I suppose, briefly, another way of looking at this, David, is that they are successful and seemingly they're worth using. Maybe not worth paying for, but they're worth people using them.
No, they're not, because people object, people complain, people kick up a heck of a fuss about it. Some private companies have got themselves in situations where they're giving people refunds that are more than they're actually making out of the numbers at the end. This 084, 087 business has got to stop. The government is moving on it now. Private businesses will as well. We won a battle with GPs last week. There's still more to do.
David Hickson, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.